order of the Canal Recreation Park District Board of Directors. And Director Nichols, could I have you lead us in the pledge?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Doug. May we have the roll call, please?
Director Huffer,
Yes.
Director Lang,
Here.
Director Cusworth. Here. Director Nichols.
Yes.
Director Buss.
Thank you very much. Item 3 on the agenda, we have special presentations. A couple of very familiar folks who are going to be horsing around here a little bit. All right, what can I do? You have the podium.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sarah. I'm the COO of Ride On and also run the program operations at the Rancho Potrero Community Equestrian Center. Just wanted to start by saying thank you for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this beautiful facility. I probably have the best office view I think anybody could possibly wish for. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to provide affordable equestrian services to the community, which is what we're doing our hardest to do. So as of now, in the last couple of years, up until the end of 2022, we provided almost 6,000 lessons, trail rides, clinics, camps to the community. So we're probably just over 6,000 now at the beginning of 2023. On a weekly basis, we continue to, in partnership with Canal Recreation and Park District, we provide intro horseback riding classes on Sundays. We provide trail rides on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We also have a very robust lesson program, which basically feeds from the intro classes that we provide to the community through you guys. We also provide community outreach opportunities. We've had Safe Passage Community Foundation, Youth Passage come out. We've had a Turner Syndrome camp come out, which was a group of teenage girls that have a very specific disability. We provided opportunities for 36 of those girls last summer during a camp. We do a one-day CowNet show, which is our normally a big show that we hold out at the Equestrian Center in Los Angeles, but we've been holding a one-day show out at the Community Equestrian Center here, which combines a schooling show for able-bodied and then a show for our disabled community as well. And we just combine everybody together and they get to compete on the same stage, which is really cool. We provide camps throughout the summer. We did nature camp this time for the first time last summer with CRPD. We took all the kids out on a daily basis on the tractor, on horseback to the amphitheater out there, which was a really cool experience. And then we've got another whole summer coming up of camps running every single week. We also take our kids out from Ride On, which is a really, really cool opportunity to take a ride on the trails, which is our Trail Fest event, which happens once a year. We've just done that. That was in partnership as well with Kiwanis, who provided our lunch for us. We think we put probably over 100 kids on horseback at Trail Fest. Yeah. So that's a really cool opportunity, because if you think of something for the Ride On kids, they're always confined in an arena space, which keeps them very safe. But this is an opportunity to take them out into the wilderness and experience a horseback riding opportunity that we all get to do. And it's a really fun time for them. We're also still providing opportunities for Girl Scouts. We do the occasional birthday party. And I think that's probably it. I think I've covered most of it. Yep. Okay. I'm going to hand it over to Brian.
So Ride On is incredibly pleased to be here. We are now celebrating, I think, our 21st year in partnership with Canal Recreation and Park District. We came to the Conejo Valley in 2000, and it was really an act of faith on both our parts. It was CRPD had the faith in a small, saw the potential of a small nonprofit organization, and we came into this community hoping and aspiring that the community would see what we do and they would respond, and they have. So we're here quite successfully 21 years later. I think we've put over 60,000 riders on horseback at our Walnut Grove facility. And we continue to do more and more things. At Walnut Grove this year, we just completed the conversion of space to a dedicated therapy space. So we have 8 physical, occupational, and speech therapists on staff right now. So we took one of our offices and converted it to a clinic so that our therapists can do pre-ride evaluations, post-ride work with our patients. And when the weather is bad, they can continue to provide service. So that's taking place at Walnut Grove now. We think that Rancho Potrero is an amazing complement to what we do at Walnut Grove. The ability to afford the disabled population that we've served for so many years and get them out into the open space, to expose them to that amazing location is just an amazing benefit that we're very grateful for. I was just hiking out there. Gloria and I hiked out there on Sunday. You may or may not know that we met on Super Bowl Sunday back in '84, and we hiked to Boney Mountain. So now, 38 years down the road, we don't hike to Boney Mountain, we hike around Boney Mountain and look at it. And we were hiking out in the open space out to Area 1, and you can just begin to see the wildflowers coming out. And that's so exciting. It's so beautiful and so exciting. When I came back, there was a van driving around the equestrian center from one of the senior assisted living facilities. It was a memory care facility. And the activities director got out and started to nuzzle one of the horses. So we started to talk. And I said, bring your group out here. We can get them to groom horses, just like the older individuals who probably have horses in their history can come out and groom horses. And we have this hay wagon. And we could put these people on a hay wagon, take them out in a couple of weeks when the wildflowers are in bloom, and take them out to Area 1, and get a ranger out there and talk about wildflowers. And this is something that we can afford the community right now. This is something that is just something we can do. It's not something we have to plan for, schedule, or charge for. We could just say, come and do it. And it's an amazing asset for the community. And we can do that, and we can do much more. So we're incredibly pleased with the potential at Rancho Potrero. Our purpose at Rancho Potrero is to provide service to the community. That's our primary purpose. That's why Ride On is at Rancho Potrero. The next challenge that we face, the second priority, is really to bring the facility up to standard, bring it up to code, get it back, look at what the planning people said, what building and safety wants, and build that facility the way it should be maintained and built from day one. Beyond that, we have a very nice boarding facility. But that is probably the third priority after delivering service and getting the facility up to speed. So the next years should be, really seeing the ability of everything that you have invested at Rancho Potrero and that Ride On is investing at Rancho Potrero bear fruit. And we can do more and just come up with some amazing programs in combination with CRPD, with Dos Vientos, with the community, with Safe Passage, with Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and just the whole panoply of social service organizations that make this community so great. So that's all I have. If you have specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. And we're so pleased and grateful for, as I always say, the leadership of CRPD. We would not be here, and I do not take for granted that vision that you had back in 2000 that said this would be something that would be amazing for the community. And that is something that is rare in my view in public service. And I always have great fond thoughts for you guys. And I appreciate deeply how much you have supported us and helped us over the years.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Sarah. Director Lang.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you, Chair Huffer. And before I forget, Mr. Friedel, this was such a great presentation. And as I'll make other comments, is there any way we can allow Marissa to see it? Because I'm not sure she knows everything about Rancho Potrero and Ride-On and so forth.
I think Marissa's watching right now.
Oh, hi, Marissa.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the beauty of the background, the mountains and the scenery, et cetera, I think is probably one of the better ones. Not that Chatsworth isn't nice and so forth, but it's in a different type of environment. And then same thing with the Griffith Park that I can recall, Griffith Park, they're close to some of the mountains, but nothing close to what you have.
We agree.
And it's just a beauty, and it's like they always say, a diamond in the rough, et cetera. And you mentioned hay wagon rides to look at the wildflowers at this time of the year. And you said not to charge, not, just to open it up to the community. But I see this as possibly Melissa, a revenue generating thing in the future for the whole community. Hay wagon to see the wildflowers, and then a little barbecue out there or something like that, an annual wildflower season excursion. I think that would really catch on, especially these years when we've had plenty of rain to enhance the wildflower growth. So
Absolutely. I think it could be phenomenal.
Yeah, so-
It screams opportunity.
maybe
yes.
starters make it free and just
Mhm.
introduce the community to Rancho Potrero, but down the road, make it into some type of a program where Ride On or CRPD, whoever benefits from the property.
Sarah makes an incredible mimosa.
Okay, that concludes my thoughts and comments. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And when Brian mentions, 22 years ago, 21 years, whatever it was, I was part of that vote that allowed the association and the marriage between Ride On and CRPD.
Absolutely.
thank you, Director Lang. Director Cussworth.
Well, I have to concur with Director Lang. When you were showing those pictures, I thought, wow, you could be out in the Old West. You could be out in Montana. This is like, you get a feeling like you're out in the wilderness. It's really gorgeous. So it made me, I've told you many times, I want to go on a trail ride, still haven't done it. Where do you actually go? Like, you go down to the beach?
We do not. That's a bit of a long ride. Private horse owners could do that, but would be several hours out and several hours back.
Okay.
So typically we concentrate on right now we concentrate on 1 hour rides, which pretty much track the boundaries of the Casca property that adjoins our space. We can in the future, there hasn't been a terrible demand for it, but we can. The NPS has its own set of regulations and challenges in terms of getting permission to use their land. So for the moment, our plate's been full enough that we've been able to satisfy the demand on the Casca property. So that's where we've remained. In the future, I would think that we would begin to expand out into the NPS land, but that's going to be another administrative challenge.
Yeah, I could see that. That's what I was wondering. I was thinking, if you went to the beach, how would you get them down that curvy road going down and everything? It would probably be somewhat difficult and hard for the horses to get up. My other thing, kind of to go on a little bit more with what Director Lang was talking about, do you have school field trips out there? Because that seems to me like that would be huge with that wagon. And then you have that whole amphitheater and you could take them on a hike. And if you brought over a couple of horses and told them about horses, I mean, a lot of kids aren't getting close to horses anymore. You talk about native animals, the horses that were used, ranches of Canal Valley. I mean, there's so much potential there for a school field trip. And I think a lot of schools would want to take you up on that. And I think it's important to really get the kids out in the mountains. I know that a lot of children know more about the animals and flora and fauna of Africa and Antarctica and places like that than they do of what's right in their own backyard. And that would be a huge resource and also a way for people, young children, to be appreciating conservation. Like, oh yeah, this is important. We need to keep this. And then to get them up, I don't know how many kids you could have up close to a horse, I guess if you had a tame horse, but we used to have a cow that would come to our school. I mean, it was like a cow in a van. It was provided by the Dairy Association. We'd have like literally 300 kids, and the side of the, van he was in would drop down, or the trailer, and there's a cow. And the kids were dumbfounded and fascinated by this cow. And they would talk about the cow and the milk and the different parts of the cow. And the kids were always the most interested when the cow pooped. And then they got, and it was interesting. I work with first graders that they'd all get in a big long line so that they could walk up next. The cow's just in this like trailer with the, side down, walk around. They all wanted to see the poop of the cow, and they wanted to see where the milk came out of the cow. Children don't really see this kind of stuff anymore. This was like one of the most fabulous things that my school would do, is having the cow come. So I thought, man, having a horse out in that environment where you're like in the Wild West, talking about flowers, conservation, animals, I just think, I think that everybody would want their kids to come to, and you could charge. I mean, you could do it for free, but you could charge, and that could be a fundraiser for you. So anyway, I don't know if we'd ever have to vote on that, but I would certainly vote on it. I think that would be fabulous. Why is one of your horses painted? Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't hurt the horse.
No.
They don't mind being painted. Okay. The other thing, you always think of cowboys as a bunch of boys, but you mainly have girls. Do you have any boys that are interested in riding, or is this, I know that in our other equestrian, it's mainly girls. Okay. Yeah, interesting. I wonder why it is so much that girls are drawn so much more to horseback riding than the boys are. It kind of seems like something boys would be interested in more, but whatever. I was just curious. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for providing this, and thank you for the future ideas and how this is continuing to really bless our community with all of the community outreaches and things that you're doing. I think this is important. I think it's really important for people to be out there on the trails, out in nature, learning about it. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Cusworth. I'm sure you'd never guess that she's a teacher, so. Yes, Director Nichols.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the presentation. I love seeing the photos up there and, getting out there when we do, just to see it live and in person. And I would concur with your comments, Sarah, that you do have the best office view in the Conejo Valley, if not beyond. It was a fantastic view out there. I also like the idea of maybe having Fort Potrero out there too, as kind of holding back the development, so to speak, that you're right there on the edge to keep our community protected. And that's kind of what you're doing out there. Appreciate that. One thing that came to mind, and I don't know, maybe the directors have answered it for you, but with your time out there, where do you see the future opportunities besides what you kind of knew going in with the working with CRPD, with programs, with expanding the Ride-On program, and kind of, bringing those two together? Just curious, what did you learn as you go back? Gosh, I never thought that we could do this also, and how would that play into the future with where you see the adventure going as you continue to play this out?
Mm-hmm. Well, I certainly think, we hadn't thought of the hay wagon as an opportunity. So that's one way to create an accessible way for individuals who might have mobility impairment issues, we were talking with Rick from Dos Vientos, and he was saying that people want to go out to the famously named Area 1, I'm gonna keep bringing that up, guys, because you gotta come up with a name for that place. I gotta tell you, you need better than Area 1, but all right. And how challenging it was just to carry like equipment out there, like a drum. He wanted to do a drum circle out there, and how challenging it was to get out there. So the ability to move people out there and move even just modest equipment out there so that people can enjoy the area is, I think, one thing that really kind of sang to us. Eventually, we want to see a program that really mainstreams able-bodied and disabled populations. In a sense, I shouldn't have to say this, that every business, every opportunity should be equally available to those with all abilities and those with disabilities. That's not always the case. We are expert at kind of affording those opportunities to individuals with disabilities where others can't. And bring those two worlds together. So when we do our one-day show and we have the able-bodied competitors competing next to the disabled competitors in the same class, doing the same things, being judged the same way, that's a very powerful message. And that's something that's unique, and something that we would like to see a lot more of. I'd like to see that happen everywhere in the world, but it's challenging. I mean, I will tell you, it is quite the things that we do when we put disabled riders on horseback 140,000 times safely. That just rolls off my lips, but that's extraordinarily challenging. That takes an extraordinarily skilled set of individuals who know intimately the characteristics of the horses and the challenges faced by the riders. And those are putting that team together to support that is just essential. And it's really remarkable, and it's rare. And Ride On does it extremely well.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because anytime the park district or any entity goes into a new venture, you have something preconceived, and then as things roll out, you realize there are opportunities there that you had no idea existed. And I'm sure that will continue to be the case. Just as you were talking, Brian, about the time spent here, the term inclusivity is part of our programming. We have with the therapeutic program, years of history there, and then with the Ride On program affiliated with CRPD, 20 years. I mean, this is not new to the park district. I think the park district was probably in the very beginnings of trying to include people in various realms and capabilities, and to see how you have helped to make that progress. Sarah, you're an integral part of this. It's just fascinating where they're competing side by side, and we don't have to have separate categories, that they're competitors, and that's just the way that it is, and everyone's having a blast. So thank you for helping us lead the way, and I look forward to the future, and what you don't even know about yet will come to pass. So appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director Nichols. Brian and Sarah, thank you again for the update. It's always great to have you folks back at least once a year to find out what's going on. What you've accomplished at the Ride On facility over the 20+ years is, the numbers is one thing, but the people you've been helping there is just absolutely wonderful. And it's been what, 2 years, 3 years, or maybe less, that you've been out at Rancho Potrero?
3 years at Rancho Potrero, 2 years with the park district.
Right. And you listed some of the programs and activities you have going on there, just what you have accomplished in that short period of time is absolutely amazing. And there's so many programs. One of my favorite programs that the district has been involved in for years, and you had some of the kids out from Safe Passage once or twice. And I mean, these are kids who likely have never seen a horse before, unless maybe it's on TV or something, but to get a chance and get out there and really get hands-on with horses must have been really special. Hopefully you folks, your team, the staff that you have, but I know a lot of what you accomplish is through the volunteers out there. which is certainly typical of our community, getting so many people out helping. So thank you for what you do. I'm going to switch hats for just a moment and apologize for not being able to be out to the event that Kiwanis cooked for. I was out of town that weekend, so I'm sorry I missed that because that's always a lot of fun. But thank you for everything that you do for our community, for the young and young at heart in our community, and we look forward to seeing you folks soon with another presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.